me?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
All right, so we're going to start our 6 o'clock meeting, September, what's today, the 27th, right?
yes.
Whatever it is. And first item of business is deliberation of the conditions of approval for the 6 o'clock final decision for the adult marijuana establishment at 160 Air Road, MRM Industries. We all have the draft conditions of approval. We've all had a chance to look at them. Does anybody on the board have any questions or concerns? You're going to have to just speak because I can't see your hand. So you'll have to go through Maureen if you have any questions or concerns, and we'll just move it on that way. How's that?
Sure.
Jeff, do you have any questions or concerns about the decision?
No,
The draft decision, you're good?
yes.
Bartlett, are you okay with, you've looked at the draft decision, do you have any questions or concerns?
No, I'm good with it.
Okay. Delise has recused himself. I am good with it. I've looked at it. I have no problems. Anna, have you looked at it? Do you have any questions or concerns?
I do, yes. I have some comments on the conditions. So in terms of the hours, the HCA doesn't have hours, so this is really kind of up to us. And so just wanted to confirm with everyone that the 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. is good. So it sounds like it is. And then
Okay.
there's one condition that I actually had a question about, and maybe Maureen or you can help with this, is condition number 10. It says special permit shall lapse upon the expiration or termination of the applicant's final license to be issued by the CCC following issuance of the special permit and final architectural construction drawings approved by the building department and the CCC. The language on that one just doesn't quite make sense. Is it saying that the special permits will lapse as soon as they get their approval?
No, I read it to believe, and Myron, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that once they get all their final approvals and the condition of approval, if their conditions from the CCC or something like that are terminated or changed or something, then this agreement lasts. That's how I looked at it. But Myron, correct me if I'm wrong.
That's the way I read it as well. And the long part of that sentence, following issuance of this special permit and final architecture, those are just the steps that have to happen before the CCC issues their license. So it might be redundant.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that explanation. So under condition number 12, it says, prior to commencing installation of phase 2 of the project, applicant shall present additional detail and information on the production operations for phase 2, including product types to be manufactured. So did we, I thought we had said that we wanted them to come back before the board. Is that what that is saying? Because if so, I would like to add the words for approval by the SPGA.
Okay, just add I agree with that. That's a little ambiguous. So they have to come back before us. We're the special permit granting authority, so we'll just put that in so they know they have to come back to us. Just
Yeah.
us.
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody else have any comment on that one?
That's fine.
Okay.
That was good.
Let's see. So then one of the comments I had sent back through Mara to the applicant was that there are certain items from this lovely green marijuana bylaw that weren't added in there. And so I went back through them again because they weren't added in, and they just need to be added in simply because other marijuana applications that have come through have added them in. These are all called special permit conditions under 173-202. And so I'd like to go through them just to make sure that everyone else is in agreement with them. It's 173-202. Number 3, it talks about deterring the presence of unauthorized or ineligible persons near the marijuana establishment. So identifying what they're doing. to deter that presence. The next one is imposition of measures to prevent diversion of marijuana products.
And it just so make sure I know it's
So it's 202A3,
okay.
202A4,
Okay, thank you.
and then 202B2 says compliance with the host community agreement. So in past marijuana application decisions, we have identified that they will comply with the host community agreement as well, because that's in our bylaw. Then 202B3 says a submission of a copy of the license from the CCC with the SPGA and building commissioner prior to the issuance of a permit, special permit, certificate of occupancy, or commencement of use, whichever comes first. Okay. And then B6, which is long, but it says copies of all reports submitted to any state agency, included but not limited to the reports required by 935 CMR describing the establishment's liability insurance coverage and the annual security system audits, shall be submitted to the SPGA within 5 business days of submission to the state. So again, that's something everybody else has submitted. So that's B6. B7 is documentation to the SPGA that each marijuana establishment agent has completed training regarding the proper handling of marijuana. So this one I had a question on because we're talking about product, right? And so I guess I would presume that they still have to go through some kind of training.
I
But
guess,
Sounds like
yeah.
that more applies to sales.
Well, that's what I was thinking too, but if they're actually handling product, are they going to be required to have any training? And if so, I figured if they're having training, it should at least be in there.
And the easy way to write that is documentation of training, comma, if any, is required. And then
Okay.
go on.
That
They're
sounds
certainly going to have to learn how to use those machines.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
and then,
Anybody-
and hold on, Mark, I'm sorry, there's just a few more.
Oh, no. All right, my meal's getting cold. Go ahead, hurry.
Okay, the next one is 202C3, which it says the holder of a special permit shall annually file an affidavit with the building commissioner demonstrating that it is in good standing with respect to its license from the CCC and any other applicable licenses. So, you know, I think all of those need to be added in. I don't appreciate that I had to go through and do it again because this was really the work of the applicant to have done. But that's part of what I had in mind. The other one, and tell me if this is going to be okay, under a determination and finding, I don't think that we clearly explained why we were allowing to reduce the minimum distance requirement. I know that we are allowing it and it's fine, but in our in the writing, it doesn't really state that. It basically says because the other two entities did it. I mean, that's the way that I read it. So if you look at determination and finding number 5, it says,
Yeah, I agree with you. It says just references the other, because the other companies did it. But
Right.
I would suggest that, what I heard at the hearing from the board was that, there were no, concerns from the board, with the co-location or the close location, of these other companies. Does that?
Correct. Yes,
I think that provision was meant for retail or
Right.
maybe more applied to retail, and these are not retail. And I think we did say that there was an advantage to having these related marijuana uses in one place in the sense of just town order and monitoring.
exactly, Jeff. And under 173-200B4, I think that's the reason. So we are given 4 different reasons or options we can use for saying that we will allow the reduced distance. And so number 4 says where the SPGA determines that reduction in the minimum distance is necessary for purposes of maintaining consistency with MGL 94G and or other state guidance relative to local regulation and siting. So I think that's really
Just
what,
cite that.
yeah.
Okay.
So that would
Okay.
be my
That's
recommendation.
good.
Mhm.
All right.
We just need to change the date on the decision, which is on page 5. It says approval of the site plan. No, wait, I'm sorry. Sorry, at the meeting held September 19th, the planning board voted blah, blah, blah to approve. So we should
Yeah.
just put in today's date.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
those are my comments for the changes that I would recommend to condition this decision.
All seem fine. Does anybody have any questions or concerns about it?
No.
Oh,
No. No. All right. So, why don't we make sure we add Anna's conditions to the draft conditions of approval, and can we vote it and move on to the next one? That work for everybody?
I so move.
I'll second it.
All in favor? I can't say it, so you're all gonna have to say. I'll do it by roll call. Anna,
Yes,
Jeff,
Yes.
Bartlett,
Yes,
and I'm an I as well. I'm a yes as well. So now that we have the conditions of approval, I'll ask the board to vote in favor of the proposal for 160 Air Road, MRM Industries, marijuana, what are we calling it? Adult use marijuana production facility. All those in favor of it, I'll ask one at a time. Anna,
yes,
Jeff,
Yes.
Bartlett,
yes,
and I'm a yes. Thank you all. Arduous, but we got it done. Can I ask to be dropped off the next two? There's four of you. You should be able to finish it. I really need to get back to, or my wife will divorce me.
So
You
soon,
need me
Mark.
there? Can Jeff handle it? Jeff, can you handle
Yes,
the
I
next
can
two?
handle it. Yeah.
Mr. Chair, are you sure
if
you
you-
want to
I'm-
stay on for the next one? It'll only take 10 more minutes.
No,
Well,
I can't. I got my food. My food is due out at 6:20. I'm 2 minutes shy of getting my food, and she'll shoot me if I don't. Is it all right if I step off? Do you guys really want me on it? I'll stay if you want me on it. If you think you can do it without me, I'd rather get off. What do you care?
Well, if we promote Delisa back, I think
Yeah.
the four of us can handle it.
Yep.
Are
Hopefully.
you all right with that? Seriously?
As long as
Well-
you're okay with it.
I'm okay with it. You know, I'm in favor of it. If you don't want me to vote it, that's fine. You still have 4 votes.
Well,
Hopefully.
that presumes that
Listen,
everyone
let me
will vote
put it this
yes.
Well, I'm hoping everyone will vote yes. If it's an issue,
We may give you a call.
back.
We may give you a call.
All right. All right. If you have to, give me a call. I'll have my phone on.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all.
thank you.
Bye.
So we'll continue with agenda item 2, the conditions of approval in the final decision, Aquifer and Water Resource District special permit for 205 to 215 Taylor Street site plan review.
Okay, I'm waiting for Delisa to rejoin us.
Okay.
I think she just needs to say okay to the rejoin as panelist. Okay, and I have to find the document, so.
I hope his food is good.
So, okay.
What's that saying? As long as someone else is cooking, it's going to be good.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And you don't have to clean up.
That too. Well, it's a beautiful evening. Hopefully they're enjoying outdoor dining.
Yeah. It is beautiful. Today was gorgeous.
It
Was.
is. It's a great day.
Yeah. Hello, Delisa. You're muted. Does she know she's on?
Here she is.
So Delisa, you can hear us okay?
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's continue. Agenda item 2, conditions of approval and final decision. Aquifer and Water Resource District Special Permit, 205 to 215 Taylor Street, site plan review. Who has comments on the conditions? Anna? Okay.
All right, so under condition number 3, there is information in there related to ice control, which is DEP 310, CMR 22.21, 2B2, excuse me. But then there's also B3 and B4, and B3 and B4 need to be removed because those are for fertilizer and manure. And during our discussions, that was not something that we discussed.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
all right. Condition number 6 needs to identify the impervious percentage.
There was a slight change,
Right.
slightly less, and I don't remember what it was off the top of my head.
I believe they said 40.5%,
Okay.
but that should probably be confirmed.
So, Maren, can we assume we can?
Okay, when the site plan that's completed after the survey was completed, existing impervious 41.4%, proposed impervious 41.0%.
Okay.
23,718 square feet.
Okay. So Anna, you want those referenced in the condition?
I think that would be really helpful. Yes, thank
Okay.
you. Maren, can I go on to the next one?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So when we look at 173-663 in our zoning bylaws, it talks about design and operational guidelines under special permits. And in particular, 173-63A talks about safeguards, C talks about disposal, and D talks about drainage. So I believe drainage was addressed, but did we address safeguards and disposal?
My impression was the way they set up the salt storage was that it did address those issues, because they had a curb at the front of the salt storage, and they were going to drive the trucks into the, whatever you call it, the tent or whatever, so that they wouldn't be exposed to rain or snow.
Mhm.
I don't know so what were the other 3? There were the conditions of drainage, which they did address.
Just monitoring and ice control chemicals.
Well, they are committing to 3 groundwater monitoring. And that would seem to me to be, addressing that concern.
For drainage or for safeguards?
For safeguards.
Okay. All right. That seems reasonable then. All right. So moving on then, during the conversation that we had with Mr. Ringwald last time, he said that they were going to beautify the yards in the front. So is that something that you would like to condition? I think anytime we can get somebody to beautify the area, we should ask for it, especially if it was their idea.
Well, since they mentioned it, fine, but what it means, who knows? I mean, it may just mean they mow the lawn, type thing. And since this is a small business owner who probably takes pride in his properties, we may get some beautification.
Yeah.
If you're happy with that beautification language, that's fine, but I don't know what's enforceable on that.
Well, and again, it's something that Mr. Ringwald mentioned, so being able to look
You're
back
right.
on.
I remember that. Yeah.
So wording we've used in the past is something like landscaping to the satisfaction of the planning board. And we can point out the areas. So in the portion of the site closest to Taylor Street,
Taylor Street. Yeah, because
near the entrance driveway.
yeah. Well, and it's around the existing house. So they were going to remove the pool,
Mhm.
and maybe we should refer to that, removing the pool and landscaping the resultant area.
Yeah,
That sounds
yeah.
good.
The site plan does show the areas of existing impervious to be removed. That includes the pool. So that reference makes a lot of sense.
Great, thank you.
Mhm.
Two more quick items. One is, my last name is misspelled on the last page.
So that,
And it was, a little wishful thinking that they put everybody was unanimous on there coming in with a decision. So we should deter applicants from doing that. And then the last one is, we talked about the fact that this isn't in the aquifer district, but yet in the findings, there are several times when the word aquifer is in there, and I'm thinking to avoid any misunderstanding that the word aquifer be removed.
I can do a search for aquifer in the. Yeah. In the
Yeah, it's
decision.
in the application headline, and then it's under reference plan. It talks about aquifer and water resource district.
Okay.
So those are my only comments. Thank you.
So I'm going to ask everyone if they have any further comments and if they're satisfied with what we've discussed so far. Bartlett,
Fine with that. No comments.
Delisa,
No comments.
I have no comments. Anna has commented. So the procedure we followed before was we did 2 votes, and what was the distinction between them? We moved to accept the conditions as we've discussed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
One was
So,
right.
so someone move that and second it.
I move that we accept the conditions that we've just discussed.
Okay. Second, anyone?
With modifications, yes.
Right.
I'll second that.
Okay. I'm going to poll. Bartlett,
Bartlett, yes.
Delisa,
Yes.
Anna.
Yes.
Myself, yes. The second vote will be to approve the final decision with the conditions we've just discussed. Will anyone move?
So moved.
Second, anyone?
Second,
We'll now go through the poll. Bartlett,
Bartlett, yes.
Delisa,
Yes.
Anna,
yes.
and I'm a yes. So that is approved. The next agenda item is conditions of approval and final decision, adult use marijuana special permit, marijuana product manufacturer, 537 Great Road Community Care Collective. Who has comments on those conditions? Anna.
Guess who? Okay.
Yeah, well, good. Let's go.
All right. So I want to make sure that we are referencing the last decision that had been put out there. Because I know that I had made comments in advance. And so, Maren, are you working off the decision that has, best way to describe it is,
What last decision? The last decision for community care or?
yes, the last decision for community care at 537 Great Road. Yep. Okay, great. You're bringing it up.
Okay, so I just shared screen. Is this the same one that you're looking at? It was the draft for the September 19th planning board meeting.
Yeah, and the way to know if it's the one I'm thinking of is if you go to page 3,
Mhm.
and the square footage there under number 7. Okay, yep. All right, so thank you for bringing that up. So under, so I have 6 comments on this. And Maren has copies of this already, so from an email dated Monday the 19th. So if you need to reference them, Maren. So the first one is actually on page 2, the reference plan. The reference plan should have a date of 6/2 on it, and the applicant agreed to that. The next item with respect to page 3, number 7, around the square footage. So the square footage in here is 13,893, but at the HCA it was 16,183. The applicant responded that when proposing the revised future manufacturing space plan, we calculated the space that was actually going to be used for manufacturing and omitted the area being used for office as shaded in yellow in the plan and the lavatories as shaded in green. When adding the office and lavatory spaces to the 13,893, we arrive at 16,183 per the HCA. He said we can change the square footage in the decision to be 16,183 and add the specifics of what is included in the plan to make the total. So there you go. There's that explanation.
Okay. So do you think we need to say portion of the existing building, which includes manufacturing and office?
Sounds good.
Okay. Just say office uses. Okay. What next?
Okay, the third item, I think, Maren, maybe when you were doing revisions, perhaps this got omitted, but the entire section that lists what all the different plans are that were submitted as evidence to our decision is missing out of this.
Yes, that was definitely on purpose. The last couple of days, there were so many different single pieces of paper going back and forth. There was no way to recreate a good listing that was accurate. So in that case, the best thing to do is drop the long listing. We do still have the reference plan in it, and then we still always have the file with all of that information in it. It's just to try to update the list from that file is not doesn't make any sense in this case, given all the single pieces of information that was back and forth.
Well, I know I would feel more comfortable if you even took a copy and paste of the items that are on the applicant's webpage to be able to identify that those were items that had all been submitted for us. Does that make sense?
So the concern, Maren,
I'm
is
concerned with doing a partial list. I guess, but if that makes you more comfortable, I could certainly do that.
Yeah. I mean, if it's not possible to go through and identify each one, then that would be one option, but the other board members may have a different idea.
Mhm.
Well, you're referring, so the reference, I think the reference plan is the reference plan, but you're referring to various application materials that may
Correct.
have been revised, you know, daily. And so the point of, what would be the point of including the application materials as stated in the application? Because that's not,
Well, it's something we just do in all the other decisions, is that there needs to be a listing of the various documents that are provided to the board as evidence that this is what we use to make the decision. So if the only thing that we put in here is the site plan, then it eliminates all of the other content specific to the manufacturing, specific to what the submission was of all the documents.
So in the background section, we refer to that there was application and other information submitted. So that refers, and
the applicant submitted to the board documents and plans which, together with the testimony provided at the reference public hearings, provide the information required by the applicable sections and are the basis of the board. Anna, don't you think that covers it?
Well, so let me just give you this example. This is the one for MRM at 160 Air Road. It has at least 11 items on there, and everything from the special permit application, the aquifer water district application, the application checklist and all items.
So could we just then have that paragraph and include which include but are not limited to, and then the list that you just, the list of the application?
Well, right. I mean, and that's what I'm saying, is that it's literally a cut and paste. It was in the previous version of this document. So all that needs to be done is to bring that over.
And well, but Maren is just concerned that it doesn't fully in exact detail represent what they submitted, because they were very, you know, but if we just put a phrase saying, but not limited to, I think that would be fine. Because then anyone looking through this, you know, anyway.
Okay, so, and when Marin's typing add listing of documents,
That would be what
was in the
from
previous.
the application, the original application.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. All right, so that's number 3. Let's see. So under conditions, odor is addressed in number 2 and 3. Mr. Giannetta made a statement that I thought should also be added as a condition of approval. And so I'll read that. It says, applicant commits to using carbon charcoal filtration, which can be supplemented by additional filters and technologies to ensure that no odors is detectable by abutters. And the applicant, Mr. Giannetta, said that he is comfortable with this and requested that be added in. So great. So that's in there now.
okay, so looking at number 2, we have the applicant shall use carbon charcoal filtration, which may be supplemented by additional filters and technologies for odor control. Does that cover all of it? Or do you need something else added?
Nope, that
No,
was it.
I think that's fine. And then I number 3 goes into more detail, which I think is comprehensive. I mean,
Yes,
we think it's comprehensive. We'll probably find out it's not. But.
correct. So, yep. So those are my comments on the conditions.
Okay, any other comments, board? Anyone have any, Delisa? Bartlett?
I'm good, thanks.
I'm good. Anna is now good. So I'd like to have a motion to approve these conditions to the decision at 537 Gray Road to be incorporated into the final decision. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
Let's move to a vote. Bartlett,
Bartlett, yes.
Delisa,
Yep.
Anna,
Yes.
and I'm a yes. So we've approved the conditions that we discussed to be incorporated into the final decision. Now let's have a motion to approve the final decision. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the final decision as amended just now.
Second?
Second.
Okay, I'm going to go to a vote. Bartlett,
Yes.
Delisa,
Yes.
Anna,
Yes.
Jeff, yes. The motion is approved. So we're done. And do we have to, Maren, we have to vote to close the hearing? Or is this a,
Yeah, this was a regular meeting. The hearings were closed
Okay.
last time. And
So,
okay.
only thing left is to
So
adjourn.
I think our meeting is over. We've had a crunch of work that resulted in this situation. Maren, congratulations on potentially getting closer to have an assistant town planner based on last night. We'll see how that goes, but it's a step. And hopefully, we can, I don't see how we can avoid having these problems as we go forward because we have just this crunch of work, but we'll do our best.
Yeah, and thank you very much for the full board support on that request. That was
Of
very helpful.
course. And anyway, I could start ranting and raving about various things, but I'm not going to because we're on television. Anyway, so that's it for tonight.
all right. Make a motion to end the meeting. Close the meeting.
Can
So
I have a
moved.
second? Okay, Anna, thank you. Bartlett, vote.
Yes.
Delisa,
Yes.
Anna,
Yes.
and myself as a yes. And thank you, Maren, and I hope Mark has a good show tonight.
Okay. Bye.
See you
Bye.
guys later.